Hey guys, Dov here. Today I'm back with some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. Today coming at you with the High Elves. Alariel's still in the game, still very powerful. A lot of people seem to have forgotten with all the hullabaloo around Teclis and Deltharion and the other new characters, but Alariel's here. She's facing off against the coast. We've got a melee infantry rush build. In fact, only Alariel and the two chariots plus one reaver for large units. Then we've got five White Lions, 3 Rangers, and a unit of Phoenix Guard in the back. And that's basically it. Very straightforward. As for Adam Shadow's Vampire Coast here, he's got 3 mortars and 2 Mournghouls. Definitely expecting more of an archer build, it looks like. Got a couple of giant enemy crabs, a fleet captain with a pistol on foot there, and some supporting zombies. So right off the bat, you can see the mortars raining in. They're not going to do too much against the Phoenix Guard because their physical resistance, the shots against the Rangers did a lot more damage, but the physical resistance and armor of the Phoenix Guard definitely showing there. Meanwhile, Lariel doing a quick hit and run charge over on that side there, doing some good damage to the zombies, and just in general, this melee engagement going to be getting underway. This weakened unit of Rangers, not necessarily going to do great against this unit of zombies, but across the line, the rest of the White Lions and Rangers should be able to clean up these zombies very efficiently. And because I have so many melee infantry units, I can start to maneuver some up and around the side here. Like you can see these Illyrian Reavers sweeping up and around the back. They discovered the Mournghouls, and they're going to keep moving to pull those Mournghouls away from the mortars, potentially. We're now bringing up more Rangers. We've got White Lions coming up on the flank here. So this is what I mean, just more melee infantry. There's too many for Adam Shadow to really account for here. And meanwhile, the crabs are fighting nobles. It's not the best situation for me, but we throw a Shield of Thorns there for some extra physical resistance. And the White Lions can follow up here with their armor-piercing damage, help support this engagement. We've also got the Phoenix Guard moving up as well. But yeah, Mournghouls unfortunately have caught these Rangers here. I think actually the Rangers caught the Mournghouls without the Mournghouls getting the charge. I was trying to push these Illyrian Reavers up and shut down these mortars, but for the time being, they're still online, still pounding away at those Phoenix Guard. This Star of Avalon probably a little bit premature here. Quite a bit of overhealing done on the chariots, but I guess, you know, healing the White Lions is nice. Probably should have saved it for these Phoenix Guard, though. They're my only real anti-large armor piercing in this build. Don't really have any other anti-large in general. We do have a little bit of armor piercing with the White Lions, but looking pretty rough here. Danger close. The zombies are not trading well, but I have taken quite a bit of damage on my units as well. Over here on the side, the mortars are still online. Mournghouls are starting to trade pretty well, but these White Lions are not complete pushovers, especially because there's so many models here. They've got the Rangers supporting over there. Should be able to trade okay against these Mournghouls, all things considered at the end of the day. And yeah, it looks like some of the mortar pieces themselves may actually be blocking the Mournghouls from getting a very good engagement there. So a little bit of a strange situation, but more White Lions filtering through, getting on these ranged units. And Alariel and the chariots just continuing to push through. I really don't have many great tools for dealing with the crabs, so we're more or less just going to have to leave the Phoenix Guard on top of them for the time being and hope for the best. Keep trying to sustain the Phoenix Guard with as many, you know, Shield of Thorns. They go up to 40% physical resistance. They get a bit of damage resistance from that Shield of Sapphire as well, so they're going to be mitigating a ton of that damage during that little spike there. We did not bring Earth Bloom, so it won't actually give them any healing, but that Shield of Thorns is a fan. As you guys know, recently, if you've been watching any of my videos, I'm a huge fan. Very cost-effective. That mortar still raining in shots, though, still dealing some consistent damage. We're just about able to shut it down. Alariel is also taking quite a bit of damage as well, but at this point, it's mostly just the crabs and the Mournghouls still holding things together. And I'm feeling pretty good about my chances. I mean, the crabs are going to be a terror in the night, like a literal terror in the night, terrifying away a bunch of my units, but I mean, I've still got a couple of relatively healthy units of White Lions here as well. Alariel does provide immune psychology. You see, as the Phoenix Guard get that Boon of Isha ability, they'll get that immune psychology and magic damage, so they can hang around without getting terrified. So we'll keep it nice and close as the High Elves here, Elite High Elf Infantry, battle it out with these 2 giant crabs. Little zombies standing on the side, up on the crow's nest as well. Absolutely love it. The Mournghouls also sustaining quite well despite everything. I'm not sure exactly what happened to the Admiral. Oh, this looks like she's getting She got pushed off, literally pushed away by the chariot here, and now getting continuously hit by both of these nobles. She's really not having too good of a time. Armor-piercing missile damage will be okay. Gonna go ahead and throw a big ol' Overcast Dance Macabre, it looks like here, or something, I'm not sure. But Star of Avalorn, regardless, healing up these Phoenix Guard, Shield of Thorns as well. Also giving some healing to these White Lions, which is pretty nice. Any of these infantry units that still have a lot of unit models will be good recipients of that healing. So at this point, balance power pretty well in my favor. And things are looking good. So this is pretty interesting, and I have to admit, this build was recommended to me by Falcon, and I believe he stole it from Random Nix, I want to say. So Random Nix, if you're watching this and you feel that I've stolen your build, yes, that is probably correct. And thank you for creating this build. It's interesting, you know, I wouldn't really have considered to do this with the High Elves, specifically with this type of a setup. I mean, this sort of mass mid-tier infantry rush is something that used to be pretty common against the Vampire Coast. You don't see it as much anymore, and I'll kind of show you reasons why in just a moment. But for the High Elves, actually, with the Rangers adding in another component, the White Lions have good AP values, so they can fight crabs, they can fight any zombies just fine. They can even fight Mournghulls pretty decently from what we saw there, despite everything. So they're just a great all-around unit in this matchup. The lack of missile block chance is mitigated somewhat by their missile resistance that they have, and of course Ranger that allows you to deploy through the woods and utilize the woods for cover, you know, even more. So that's nice. Phoenix Guard also got an XP chevron there, only 24 kills, but racking up a lot of damage against the big crabs. Lariel and the Nobles just doing their thing, healing. Rangers also getting some pretty nice kill totals, 40 kills, some XP chevrons on the Reavers as well. And yeah, for Adam here, the giant enemy crabs are very solid in this matchup. I also am a huge fan of the Pistol Admiral, though I would much prefer to see her on the Crab, just because against High Elves, again, that high armor can matter quite a bit. And one of the reasons that those mass infantry rush builds tended to fall out of favor for a while is people discovered that this guy right here, the Gallows Giant, Regiment of Renown Necrofex, is perfect for breaking up mass infantry assaults, especially in a nice wide spread formation build. Massive anti-infantry flaming damage. The leadership effect also means that you're likely to very quickly break units, you know, and chase them off the field. Just a huge amount of damage as well. Also has anti-infantry melee weapon strength. You can see here the regular Necrofex doesn't do nearly as much damage and doesn't have the anti-infantry component or the flaming leadership effect. Now, there is a specific interaction I hear you all calling out, but High Elves have a lot of fire resistance generally, and that is true to a degree. There are quite a few units on the High Elves roster that have fire resistance, right? Notably a number of their characters, like Emmerich, for example. Teclis, if you take him on a stupid murder bird, then has also fire resistance here of 70%. So, you know, there's various characters. Tyrion, of course, has 45% fire resistance, so they are going to be good at fighting the Necrofex Colossus. This is a little bit of a risk in that way. The actual Phoenixes are less of a risk. I mean, they still are a bit of a risk, but people tend not to bring single entity monsters against Vampire Coast anyway, just because they have a hard time making themselves effective. But that is something to consider as well. These guys have 70% fire resistance. And then, of course, you've got Dragon Princes also. Although, again, elite cavalry is typically not something people bring against Vampire Coast because already they have great counters for it. So you can kind of, it's a little bit of a risk-reward, specifically against the High Elves. Against other infantry rush factions that would try and do similar things to you, you know, if you're worried about, like, Greenskins or obviously low leadership factions like Greenskins or Skaven, but even like Dark Elves, Empire can outrange it a little bit, but yeah, anyway, a lot of matchups can be very good. Here, it's a little bit of a risk-reward, but it's not super likely that you're going to see Dragon Princes. I would say it's a little bit more likely that you might see one of these characters like Tyrion or Imric that has fire resistance. The Phoenixes, again, not super likely, but the targets that you would want to be shooting at anyway with the Gallows Giant are not those targets, right? It's your Rangers, it's your White Lions, it's your Phoenix Guard, you know, your elite infantry units, even archers to a degree, although High Elf archers can outrange the Necrofex Colossus and the, you know, kind of volume of fire approach will tear it down pretty quickly. Only has 70 armor, and especially now High Elves have armor sundering potential and some other synergies that they can apply, you know, additional armor weakness and everything with the Talons of Torquelada. It might be a little bit tougher to make work, although does this thing itself have fire resistance? No, it does not. That's very interesting. So potentially you could get some good synergy in there. And with the High Elves, you know, there's kind of one or two ways. In many people's minds, you can either go with the mass shooting and try and outshoot the Vampire Coast, which can work pretty well, but also can lead you into a bit of trouble if they go in very heavily into like mortars and counter shooting. Or you can go very heavily into an infantry melee rush like I did there, and you're more at risk of being broken up by powerful melee units. But High Elves, I would think, out of a lot of factions now, have good tools for attempting to deal with that. But anyway, big thanks to Adam for that one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. So every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.